नमस्कार। बिहार 24 सच से सामना देख रहे सभी दर्शकों का अभिनंदन। मैं हूं कन्हैया ठाकुर। पटना हाईकोर्ट के जस्टिस संदीप कुमार मधुबनी जिले के इंस्पेक्टिंग जज भी हैं और वे बीते 2 दिनों से मधुबनी जिला में हैं। मधुबनी जिला में उनका पदार्पण मधुबनी जिला को न्यायिक पदाधिकारियों के में बड़ी सौगात के रूप में देखा जा रहा है। शुक्रवार को संदीप कुमार मधुबनी कोर्ट में पहुंचे थे। कोर्ट का निरीक्षण किया उन्होंने, कोर्ट की व्यवस्थाओं को देखा, वृक्षारोपण किया और कुछ हिदायतें भी दी थी। शाम में वो यहाँ बन रहे प्रसिद्ध मिथिला हाट पहुंचे थे। मिथिला हाट में मिथिला के व्यंजन भंसा घर में भी जाकर के उन्होंने देखा और आज शनिवार को उनका 2 कार्यक्रम, एक झंझारपुर और एक बेनीपट्टी में है। झंझारपुर में आप देख रहे हैं, मैं जिस बोर्ड के सामने में खड़ा हूँ, 12 क्वार्टर का पीओ क्वार्टर का उन्होंने शिला पूजन किया है, भूमि पूजन किया है। और ये क्वार्टर एक ऐसा बन रहा है जो बनने के बाद जज लोगों को रहने में काफी सहूलियत होगी। 6 करोड़ 95 लाख की लागत से इस भवन को 12 महीने में बनाया जाना है। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ कार्यक्रम का भवन का लेआउट दिया गया है। किस प्रकार ये भवन है इसको गौर से देखेंगे। शेड्यूल ऑफ डोर्स ऑन विंडो, खुला आसमान के रूप में, और इस भवन को बड़ा स्पेसियस बनाने का काम किया जा रहा है। बिहार सरकार के भवन निर्माण विभाग द्वारा बनाए जा रहे इस भवन को 12 महीने के टारगेट समय में पूरा करने का लक्ष्य लिया गया है। आप ये भी देख सकते हैं कि किस प्रकार का ये भवन, तैयार भवन दिखेगा। ये भवन इसी की तरफ दिखेगा। कार्यपालक पदाधिकारी भवन निर्माण विभाग के जो हैं, उन्होंने स्पष्ट रूप में ये दावा किया है कि इस भवन को 12 महीने में बनाकर समाप्त कर दिया जाएगा। आपको यह भी बता दें कि आज बेनीपट्टी में भी वो लायंस क्लब का उद्घाटन करने के लिए जाएंगे। वहां भी वृक्षारोपण वगैरह सब का कार्यक्रम है। तो उनका आज का जो दौरा है वो कई महीने में झंझारपुर में ऐतिहासिक है। इंस्पेक्टिंग जज तो हैं ही, झंझारपुर कोर्ट का वो निरीक्षण भी कर रहे हैं और अधिवक्ताओं के साथ तमाम जजेज को उन्होंने संबोधन भी किया है। अपने संबोधन में उन्होंने स्पष्ट रूप में 2-3 बातों पर फोकस किया कि जब कभी भी कोई जज कहीं ट्रांसफर होके जाते हैं तो वहां सबसे पहली बात वहां उनके एकोमोडेशन रहने की व्यवस्था की दिक्कतें होती है। लोग जो जजेज जाते हैं वो खोजते हैं कि डेरा है या नहीं है। झंझारपुर में भी कई ऐसे जज हैं जो प्राइवेट क्वार्टर में रह रहे हैं। कुछ जो क्वार्टर है वो पुरानी थी। काफी दिनों से मांग थी कि जज के लिए यहाँ पर एक अच्छा सा क्वार्टर एकोमोडेशन का बने। जस्टिस संदीप कुमार ने अपने संबोधन में स्पष्ट कहा था कि जो पीओ क्वार्टर बन रहा है, इस टाइप का क्वार्टर अब तक पटना में बना करता था। पिछले कुछ दिनों से जिला और आज झंझारपुर में भी पदार्पण कर चुका है। अच्छा स्पेसियस मकान 12 महीने में बने, टारगेट समय में बनने की कोशिश की जा रही है। हालांकि एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर ने बताया है कि जो टारगेट समय है उससे पहले ही इस भवन का निर्माण पूरा कर लिया जाएगा। यहाँ से मैं आपको यह भी दिखाऊंगा कि अनामिका टी जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज हैं उन्होंने क्या संबोधन किया। उनकी संबोधन को भी मैं सुनवाता हूं और जस्टिस संदीप कुमार ने क्या बताया। हालांकि दोनों का संबोधन इंग्लिश में है और ये हमारा हिंदी चैनल है, लेकिन आपको उनकी भाषा में सुनवाने के लिए उन्हीं के संबोधन को हूबहू मैं आपको सुनवाना चाहता हूँ। मिथिला हाट में भी वो गए थे बीते दिनों। बड़ा अच्छा जगह था, सारे प्रशासनिक तैयारी की गई थी और आज का जो ये कार्यक्रम था उनका शिला पूजन का जो कोर्ट के लिए बन रहा है, इससे पहले झंझारपुर कोर्ट में G5 भवन का भी शिलान्यास किया गया था। और अब यहाँ जो लोग आएंगे उनको कोर्ट भी अच्छा सा मिलेगा, वातानुकूलित एसी कोर्ट मिलेगा जहाँ रहने की व्यवस्था होगी और जो जजेज रहेंगे, जिनका 12 क्वार्टर बन रहा है, जिनका मैंने लेआउट दिखाया था, वो भी बड़े अच्छे ढंग से बन रहा है। तो ये झंझारपुर के विकसित होते शहर की एक पहचान है। मैं अन्य खबरें भी आपको देता रहूंगा। आप देखते रहें बिहार 24 सच से सामना। चैनल को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, और कुछ भी कहना हो तो कमेंट बॉक्स में अवश्य कहें। ये खबर न्यायपालिका से जुड़ी हुई है। कुछ विस्तार से मैंने आपको इसको बताने की कोशिश किया है, और इतना आप निश्चित समझें कि जो जजेज हैं, जो न्यायिक अधिकारी हैं, वो जितने कूल माइंड से रहेंगे, जितने सुविधा संपन्न तरीके से वो अपने कुर्सी पर बैठेंगे, उसी कूल माइंड से गरीबों को न्याय मिलेगा, जिसकी शुरुआत झंझारपुर में हुई है। झंझारपुर का आज एक ऐतिहासिक दिन है।
Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Kumar, Learned Principal Judge Family Court, ADG 1, In charge PP, President and Secretary of the Bar Association, Office Bearers of the Bar Association, learned advocates, media persons, and my dear staff. On this momentous occasion, it is my honor and privilege to be part of that ceremony which will add a chapter to the infrastructure of Janjarpur. Like the President just now said, that earlier Janjarpur was considered as a punishment posting. But I assure you, President Sir, from now on, it will be the choicest posting. Under the able guardianship of our inspecting judge, we have been able to commence several projects, including that of Lawyers Hall, the constructions of the PO quarters, court buildings. It is well known that in the dispensation of justice, the infrastructure plays a very important role, and without that, it will be impossible for the bar and bench to function. Lordships, we will continuously strive under your able guardianship to provide the best infrastructure in the entire state of Bihar. Your Lordships have already directed the Executive Engineer BCD to better the provisions in the PO quarters. He has also said that the benchmark set in Patna should be crossed when the construction is completed at Jhanjarpur, and we are hopeful that these considerations will be there. We will always, Lordship, strive to perform as per the directions given by the Honorable High Court, and we will not treat the judicial dispensation as our duty, but we will try to do service to the humanity. We will go beyond the office hours, we will go beyond a call of duty to attend to every problem that is being faced either by the lawyers, by the staff, or the litigants who are the stakeholders in the system. Lordships, we assure you that we will perform to give our 100% and even go beyond. Lordships, indeed, it is an honor to be a part of the ceremony. Again, I'll say that it would not have been possible without the cooperation of the bar. And I must say that we continuously want to come back to Janjarpur on and none other says. So we are highly grateful to the bar and the bench and the judicial officers who have put in a lot of effort to make this event a grand success. Jai Hind, Jai Mithila.
Whatever facility is to be provided to the judicial officers and lawyers is not for their enjoyment but for dispensation of justice. Judicial officers who are working here and who are transferred here should get proper facility so that they don't have to run around for small things for their family. As a lawyer, long back I have seen the sufferings of judicial officers. Whenever a judicial officer used to be transferred to a particular district, the first thing he used to look for was a accommodation, private accommodation because of paucity of the quarters. And this was a big task. Sometimes this used to create trouble for them if they would land themselves in the house of a landlord who wanted to take advantage of the judicial officer being his tenant. So, providing quarters for judicial officers and whatever facilities which on the directions of the Supreme Court like vehicle etc. have been provided has improved the working condition of the judiciary as a whole. And now the facilities are at par with everybody, that is judiciary and other wings. And I will say that sometimes the facilities are much better than others. The PO quarters which have come up at Patna have been of have made a qualitative change in the living standards of the officers, and whatever little shortcomings are being found in Patna, that should be removed in the PO quarters which have started coming up in other districts including Jhanjharpur. And I will like to suggest that our judicial officers, if they feel that something is to be added or changed, then they can give their suggestion, and thereafter the government can be approached for making those changes for better living. So far as the members of the bar are concerned, I think this is one of the subdivision which has got three additional district judges, whereas all the subdivisions in Bihar are struggling with one additional district judge. Many subdivisions are still without additional district judge. So members of the bar and the litigants have been very lucky that they have got three ADJs, and whatever their demand is, they can approach the High Court through the district judge, that is for additional principal judge or any other. That will all depend on the number of cases which is pending in the family court from the this subdivision. I can only say that since there is a cooperation between the bar and the bench, the people of this area are being benefited. And I will also request the members of the bar that they should, though they are practicing here and earning their livelihood, but there should be a seva bhavna in the profession also. They should not only think that they have to earn. If a very poor person comes, they should advise him properly. They should not think that by prolonging the litigation they will be benefited. If you stop one litigation, you will get some more cases automatically. The same client will refer you cases. But advise him well, advise him the best, get him out of trouble. In cases where there is a chance of plea bargaining, advise them to take that. In cases of NDPS Act, where the recovery is of small quantity, you must advise them to accept their guilt and go for few months of punishment instead of contesting the case for 20 years for say 500 grams of ganja or some small quantity of narcotic drugs. The lawyers should also be well prepared. I don't say that you are not prepared. Prepare yourself more. Come prepared with the latest judgments. Your client will be benefited, you will be benefited, and you will attract more clients. These days in NDPS Act, now some high courts, including our high court, has held that incomplete charge sheet will result in default bail. Similarly, the questions of default bail for income by filing incomplete to police, that is the prosecution, sometimes most of the times files charge sheet within time, incomplete charge sheet within time to defeat the default bail. That question is pending in the Supreme Court. So let us await that. But keeping a person behind bars for small offenses, 379 and all those things, is not welcome nowadays. And magistrates having power of remand, they must follow the guidelines of Arnesh Kumar. Police officials also, they must follow it. Otherwise, someday you will be facing contempt. The contempt is not because you are doing it right, but because you are ignoring the law, laid down by the highest court of the land. If a person is accused of any offense, committing any offense, and the same is punishable for 3 years, he should not be arrested even if there is a demand by the, or he should not be remanded. The police official should not arrest them. And for lawyers, I will only say that now you should start following the Supreme Court judgment in 498A cases and other cases and apply for exemption under Section 205 CRPC. Why do you go on filing applications for anticipatory bail? You can go for exemption under Section 205 CRPC. Initially, you may be facing some opposition even by the judiciary or the prosecution, but ultimately the law has been settled that they can be the accused persons under Section 498A can be granted the privilege of exemption. I am saying about 498A because the number of cases which we get are mostly small cases under Section 498A. The relatives, apart from the father-in-law, mother-in-law, are also being made accused. So the lawyers have to be progressive, the judges have to be progressive, so that the people do not suffer. And small litigations, even if civil litigations, you try to, even if the mediation has failed, try to mediate. If the judge or the presiding officer tries to mediate, people see reason. If there is a landlord-tenant dispute and the tenant is made to understand that he cannot become the owner of the property. And the more he fights, the more he is losing. He is not able to make his own house. He is not making to acquire a new shop, which he can do. And after 10 years again he is on road. This has to be explained to the tenants. This has to be explained to the landlord. If the landlord wants some more rent, then the rent can be renegotiated by the court, that you renegotiate the rent if that is the only problem amongst you. Title suits, I don't know too many title suits. So any title suit which is being prosecuted by the plaintiff diligently, the court should pick up those title suits first. These are the things which we will discuss amongst I will discuss about with my judicial officers posted here, but it is because these will not be discussed with the lawyers. So I will request the lawyers to cooperate in all those things so that all litigations are over and people do not suffer. A client comes, files a title suit, after some time he stops doing the parvi, then he dies. There is no one to do the parvi, but the record is continuing. And after 20 years, 30 years, there is no one either on the plaintiff side or on the defendant side. But here, everywhere, not here. What we lawyers do, or they will ask the clerk to file the hajri. That will allow a dead case to continue. You should be discouraging this. If the father has died, the son comes, ask him again to go for mediation. If the first generation who are fighting amongst themselves are dead, the second generation may go and accept mediation, may enter into a compromise. But the lawyers as well as the judicial officers have to be proactive. So far as the district of Madhubani is concerned, just after taking oath, myself and other brother judges had accompanied Justice Karol, the then Chief Justice, now a Supreme Court judge, and we had visited Madhubani. So Madhubani shall always be special for myself and my brother judges who had visited this place for the first time after becoming judges. I thank you all for the facilities, for the warmth you have shown. Thank you very much. जय हिंद।
सभी प्रकार की खबरों के लिए आप देखते रहिए बिहार 24 सच से सामना। अगर आपने हमारे चैनल को अब तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, लाइक करें और शेयर करना ना भूलें।